I just bought my dad this Aston Martin DBX with a catch. This car was fully submerged underwater, which meant it was cheap. And that's because after it went underwater, the car never ran again. Now we have no idea how deep this car went underwater and how long it was in the water for. But sometimes taking a risk on these flood damaged cars can really pay off. Let's just hope this one does. Here it is. My dad does not have a clue, and this is his actual dream car. This is like hitting the jackpot for my dad. This DBX has been going on about these since the dawn of day, innit? The best thing, it was this car that he's seen. This was like the first DBX he ever seen. It was. Now, I don't know if you can remember, but when we went to Copart to have a look at the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, which was also a flooded car, next to it was the Aston Martin DBX, and my dad fell in love with it.
Come on then, let's go and have a look at my favourite one.
On the way here, he said if I was going to get any 4x4, it would be this one.
Now these DBXs have a 4-litre twin-turbo V8, but if it sucked up any water whilst it's been running, it's likely the engine could be toast.
If it's only £5 I'm bidding.
You gonna have a go on this one, Tony?
It ain't gonna go for what I want to bid.
Now whilst we was at Copart, the guys let us put a jumper pack on it and attempt to try and start it. Yeah, look at that, all the electrics work. 2,000 miles.
Do you know, if I had a car that had done 2,000 miles, I definitely wouldn't be driving it through a flood.
But no matter what we did, this car wouldn't start. Might just need a rod.
Yeah, it might do.
Or it's a new block, if it's been sitting in there, rusting. But one thing's for sure, my dad truly found his dream car that day.
You can dream.
So, I bought it. Right. So this was listed at Copart as does not run or drive or start. And somebody's been here before molesting it, because these are not supposed to be off. Oh yeah, look, it goes straight into the turbo. The turbos are directly underneath there. But what's worrying is that's really high up.
That is really high up. So if they've gone in the water, they've had to come up here.
But we have seen a lot of videos of people going through like Rufford Ford and that, sending it and then
Blast.
yeah. I think people think the faster you go through water, the better it is, when it's not necessarily the case. So if it goes in the turbos, the worst thing with a turbo car, water will go in, it propels the water down and into the engine, which is actually like not ideal. And then once it goes inside the engine and the piston tries to compress the water, piston versus water, piston loses every single time. The conrod just goes, see you later. But we're hoping that's not going to be the case. When water gets into the cylinder, or on this diagram, coolant, when the piston comes up on that compression stroke, it obviously can't compress the water, which, as I mentioned, then can cause damage to the conrod, even the crankshaft, and even worse cases, the actual block. And if that's the case, then it's an engine rebuild, and this engine looks really complicated. But sometimes you can get lucky. If only a little bit of water have got into the cylinder, the engine can pump it out after just running for a while. But if the car doesn't run, sometimes you can just remove the spark plugs, turn the engine over, and the pistons will push out the water through the spark plug holes. At the minute, we lost in Monaco. Are we going to win here? We can only hope the risk pays off. As an extra surprise as well, I got in personal reg plates. MA, Matt Armstrong, 23, the reg of the car. Dad. I don't think he's even going to notice that, but we'll see. Now, let's wait for him to arrive. We covered the car over in plans to show him the next day.
We're starting a new car.
We're starting a new car, and it's in the ramp.
We're starting a new car.
Have you got any guesses on what the new car is?
Is it a new car I don't know about?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a new car you don't know about.
Right.
Any guesses?
Oh no.
If you had to drive one other car but the Ferrari, what brand car would you drive?
Aston.
Yeah. And also, if you had to drive one other car but the Ferrari, what other car would you drive? Like what type of Aston?
A DB. What we call it? DBX.
DBX, yeah. Okay. What do you reckon to that?
No, you're having me on there. There's a DBX.
Unwrap it then, unwrap it. This is yours.
No, this is yours. I hope it's all done then.
Hey, you might be surprised. It's these moments that made working on cars in a restaurant car park and on my driveway truly worth it. And without all of your support, none of this would have happened. And if you want to be a part of the journey, then now's a great time to subscribe.
What's up with it then?
Nothing, it's yours.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's your car. That is yours.
Look inside.
Has it been in a river? What's up with it? There's got to be there's got to be a cat.
Why would there be a cat?
Start it, let's
Why
hear
would
it.
there be a cat?
Let's hear it.
Does it start?
Yeah, well, try and start it up. Keys up
Why
here.
have you got me this?
Because you wanted one. You not recognise it?
Is this the one?
You not recognise
This ain't the one.
This is his mate.
What?
This is McCullenan's mate.
Is this the same one?
Yeah, this is that one.
Oh my god!
We've had it all that time.
I had it all that time.
We've hid it from you for months.
Oh my god! Stop. This has done like no miles, isn't it?
Yeah, it done
There's this water thing in the engine,
the one
isn't
that's
it?
been flooded. Yeah. Well, I think that couldn't have gone down any better. We finally got my dad his dream car. The turbo, some kind of weird.
Oh, I can't believe that you bought this.
I knew you'd be buzzing with it.
Oh my days!
It's well nice, isn't it? But he's not going to be able to drive it until we work out what exactly is wrong with it. What we got?
Apple CarPlay.
Wait.
Oh, fancy getting me this. This is brilliant.
You might want to have a look back here.
What's going on?
Just open the boot.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Oh, someone's already been in.
Oh
no.
Oh, the engine's coming out.
Inside this bag was a box of spark plugs and coil packs. So our theory that we might be able to pull the spark plugs out, turn the engine over and pump the water out seems to have gone down the drain. Because it looks like someone might have already tried it. Somebody's already taken the spark plug. Oh, that's one job done, at least.
Well, yeah, but that now means that we've got to pull the engine and rebuild the whole thing.
Yeah, we need to find out what's gone wrong with it. Let's get started then. First off is this strut brace which is covering over the engine cover. Once we get that off, we can remove the engine cover to access the engine, which somebody's already touched. Look at this. Coil packs. Just resting in. There was a few more coil packs in place which hadn't been removed, so I'm going to pull them out as well. First one. And now we should be able to get a camera and see what's going on inside the cylinder.
Oh, look, is that the bore there?
That looks sludgy.
I don't think that's meant to look like that. Engine very bad in cylinder 7.
Do you know what? It don't really matter what the others are like.
No, I think we've got to take the engine out. We've only put the camera down one cylinder and we can already see there's rust in the bores. And it was nearly the same for every single cylinder. And if there's rust in the bores, then for sure, this engine isn't going to run right. When that piston goes up the bore, it's just going to scratch the whole side of the cylinder, allowing oil, fuel, and compression to get past the piston. Right, goal is drain all the fluids. We've got to get the engine out. I don't think that it's gone in. If there's loads of water in that oil, we should be definitely draining the gearbox oil as well. I think it's only splashed up. That's my fear. I think it's gone into a Ford.
What do you think?
Could be right.
It only takes a tiny bit of water to seize an engine. But if loads have got sucked up, then possibly it could have got in the oil as well. Ready? And we're about to find out if it did. Oh, that's very
That's
bad.
not good.
I've never seen it that bad.
Okay, yeah.
That is milky.
I think we need to do the gearbox as well. Oh my, that's chocolate milkshake. Well, I weren't expecting that. It's not looking good. Now time for the oil filter. Oh! Oh!
Oh no, for it to be in there as well, it's run with it in.
Oh yeah, it would have, yeah. So water has got in the engine oil, and a lot of it. So the likely chance that this engine is not savable is pretty high now. But what about the gearbox? That looks good. Yes. Get in there. Good news for us, the gearbox seems all okay. The oil in there seems nice and clear. So at the minute, it only seems like the engine has been affected by the water. Let's get it out. First thing to come off is the exhaust. Again, full of water. I've removed the left side and my dad's removed the right hand side. Now that the front part of the exhaust's out, we can move on to the next part. Exhaust off. Now the prop shaft, which is connecting the gearbox all the way to the rear differential at the back. Once that's disconnected, that will allow us to bring this whole thing down. There's about 4 bolts holding the prop shaft to the gearbox. I'm holding the wheels at the back to stop the prop shaft from spinning, and then my dad's removing the bolts at the front. Then we can slide that out of the gearbox. Next thing, the steering rack connecting to the steering column. My dad's undone the bolt on the steering column and then pulling it away from the rack, because the rack's going to come down with the subframe of the engine once all of the other work's done. Got to remove both wheels, and my dad's going to start by removing the arch lining, because this job's going to be made much easier if we can get the front bumper off. That way I can see all the hoses at the front that need to be removed as well. The brake calipers we're going to take off and hang on the car. That way we don't have to re-bleed the brakes and lose any brake fluid when we remove the engine as well. And I'm working away at getting the front bumper off. Now I can clearly see what needs to be removed. There's some wiring which is bolted to the chassis of the car. That's going to come down with the engine. And parts of the suspension is going to come down with the engine as well. My dad's removing the bolt for the stuff which is going to come down with the engine, like the wheel hub and all the lower control arms. Next up, I'm going to disconnect all the hoses which are going to the radiator at the front of the car, because the radiator at the front of the car will be staying on the car. But the hoses are going to the engine, which is what we're trying to remove. More hoses which are going to the front are the oil cooler hoses. These are leading from the engine to the cooler at the front, and they've also got to be removed.
What are you doing, Tony?
I'm gonna degas the new car.
There's of course the aircon condenser as well, but we've got to remove the gas before we remove those lines. Coolant's out, oil's out, next up, fuel. And finally, the fuel lines which lead to the engine from the fuel tank at the back of the car. I'm removing them from the engine, and then the engine should be completely free from the car.
Aircon gas recovered.
With the aircon gas out, we can now remove the aircon lines, and it's time for us to go back in the air. All the fluids are all out. Next step, our plan is to lower the whole thing down as one. Subframe, engine, gearbox. And to do that, we've got to undo these big bolts up here, 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 here and here, and here, and here, and a few up there, and a few up there. Oh my God, there's loads, and there's a few up there, and this whole thing's gonna lower down, and we'll hopefully have it on the floor. Then we've got to separate the engine from the gearbox after that. So, let's do the first ones at the back. All subframe bolts are undone. Axle stands are underneath to hold the subframe, the gearbox and the engine. We're hopefully now going to lift the car up and the engine stay in place, but we think there might be a few more hoses connected, but we'll find out now which ones are connected, because they'll be hanging on for dear life when we start lifting them up. Let's go. This is a delicate process, and unfortunately we did manage to break something. The steering column just dragged on the side of the engine as it was coming out. I managed to break part of the plastic on the inlet manifold. But once we got that out the way, the engine was out. Yeah, it's out. Only one perishment, just this inlet manifold here, because the steering rack here pulled on this and broke. But now we have the big 4-litre twin-turbo V8 out of the car. And now we need to find out what we need to replace in order for this car to work. But to do so, we need to remove the gearbox on the engine first. So my dad's undoing all the bolts which connect the gearbox to the engine, and then once they're undone, we're going to separate it from it. And that's job done there. We can see the flywheel and the torque converter still on the gearbox. Now, time to strip this engine down. We need to see how far this water damage has got. First off, the 2 turbos off the top, then the charge coolers. Right, this is all stripped down now to a point where we can start getting the cylinder heads off. But we actually haven't even tried to turn this over by hand. So we're gonna see if it does turn over by hand. That's one good sign. But we think because there's the amount of rust in the cylinders, it might scrape up the cylinders, but we think the cylinders are dead anyway from what's happened with the Porsche. Let's see if it turns over.
I think we might need to purchase a new bar for 20.
That's fully stock.
That is
Yeah,
solid.
rod's got to be bent.
Bent rod.
It's got to be bent. That engine is well and truly seized. And our suspicions is that it's got a bent con rod. But we're not going to be able to confirm that until we access the con rods. But first, we're going to try and see what's going on with the top of the engine by getting the cylinder heads off. And to access the cylinder head bolts, we've got to remove the camshaft. If you don't know what all these parts do just yet, don't worry. We'll explain it when we start putting this thing back together. But now,
Wallet.
with those camshafts out, I can access the cylinder head bolts. I've got to remove all of these bolts, and then we should be able to lift it off and check the damage underneath.
Oh no.
That is rusty McGee. Oh, there's a hole. Is that a hole in it? It's rusted. It's ate away at the cylinder. There's literally a lip there. These cylinders need to be super smooth. And the water's sat in there for so long, it's actually rusted away part of the cylinder.
That is a creme brulee. Oh my, look at that.
That's gone. That's finished. But it's likely this might be cheaper than a Porsche block. It's like, because this is an old engine. It's been out for a while. And it's not like a performance engine. Well, it is to an extent, but not like.
Can we get a block
Might be able to get a block
that's
from.
built, or a reconditioned block?
Can have a look. With the cylinders looking like that, it's for sure we're gonna need a new engine block. And the other side was no different. That's a cave. The GT3RS engine went fully underwater, like actually underwater, and it was actually in better condition than that.
Yeah, because you know why? The water can run out the piston.
Oh yeah, because it
You know,
was
it's
flat,
flat.
doesn't it? Yeah,
So
yeah.
it can
Yeah.
run out.
Whereas
Whereas on
this
this,
is
it
sat.
gets trapped.
Yeah, it sits up like that. Best thing they could have done, when they got this engine in the water, flipped it upside down. Would have drained it all out. And then you're just replacing a rod.
So, for the viewers at home, if they drive into a flood, what do you advise?
Go home and hang your car to drive upside down. That probably would have saved this engine to an extent. We still think there's a bent con rod, which is why this engine isn't turning over. But the fact that all the cylinders are all rusted up means we're gonna have to replace the block anyway. Now we're lifting the engine off the subframe so we can get it on an engine stand to turn it upside down and see what damage is caused underneath of it.
There we go.
Outdoor play! And as it's nice weather, we're going for outdoor play, as I like to call it. Front diff, outdoor play. Because it's four-wheel drive, it actually mounts the front differential to the engine block. And part of the drive shaft actually travels through the sump. I remove that, then I can take the flywheel off, take this casing off here, and then we should be able to lift the sump off the bottom of the engine. With the sump off, we then remove this oil pickup part, and underneath we could see the conrods.
Which one's bent? Oh, I found it!
I see it.
Oh yeah, that one.
Look at
Oh,
that.
Susie.
And our suspicions were correct. One of the conrods were bent. This is because it's tried to compress water. Now, if I remove this conrod and piston, I should hope the engine will be able to turn over after that.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, look at the rings. Well, that's what happens when a conrod fights with water. This is tried to go up like that. Water's been here, can't squash it down. Conrod's gone. Look at all the rings. That's how the water's got into the engine, isn't it? It's gone past the rings down into the oil.
A lot of water went past that, didn't there?
Yeah, that is MC Rusty. So the worst case scenario has become the worst case scenario. To get this engine working, we're gonna need a new conrod, a new engine block, and all the parts to rebuild it. And once that bent conrod was out, the engine actually turns over. But you can see the state of the cylinders here, covered in rust, which would mean if we built this engine back up like that, you would see loads of smoke coming out the exhaust from oil blow by down the cylinders. And even though this DBX has become a worst case scenario, I still think we can get this repaired under budget. Here's our list, which we think we need. Conrod, engine block, inlet manifold, gasket and seal set, timing chain set, 8 piston rings, 5 gold rings, head bolts, oil filter, 8 bearings, diff oil, gearbox, crank seal. This is the deal maker. We don't know how much all of this is going to cost. I don't know. Because I was hoping we was going to take spark plugs out and it was just going to go, boom, out, start. We don't know. But what we do know is a second-hand engine on eBay. We don't do very well with second-hand engines. We've had a history with that. Is £12,999. Second-hand. The cost of the car was £82,000. So that would bring the total bill altogether, if we bought a second-hand engine, to £94,999. Which actually still isn't bad. When you look at the used prices of the DBX 707s, you're looking at £130,000 upwards. But I think we'd save more money and it'd be better if we just rebuilt the engine that we've got. But then I found that wasn't possible. Look, so they will sell the internals, but they don't sell the block.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so they will sell everything like piston rings, conrods, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, no, he didn't come back to me and say, oh, these are not available. He just saw on there that you've put a cylinder block. We can't get that.
Aston Martin will sell us all the parts we need to rebuild the engine, but won't actually sell us the cylinder block. They don't offer it separately, but they do offer the complete engine. New engine from Aston Martin, £64,000. Which is just crazy. Now we have the option to get our cylinder block repaired, which would mean reboring the cylinders, which would then cause a chain reaction effect that would have to modify all the rest of the parts of the engine to make it work, which I don't think is worth the risk here. So then I looked at second-hand engine, £12,999, but that's actually for an Aston Martin Vantage engine or a C63 engine, or there's not actually no DBX engine second-hand listed. The engine in the DBX is a Mercedes AMG M177 engine, and that engine is used in loads of Mercedes as well as Aston Martins. The only difference between the Aston Martin Vantage and the Aston Martin DBX, four-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive. And because the DBX is four-wheel drive, it has that hole going through the sump at the bottom of the engine that a drive shaft goes through. So if you look at the actual numbers on the side, it's at 177,950, which is, we've got a 177,950. So I think they use the same block, but there's small variance in it. So if we choose to go with the second-hand Aston Martin Vantage engine, then we may have to switch over a few components. But then I think I found a solution. This is our solution. We're not 100%. This is a Mercedes GLC engine, I believe. Second hand. We've just got our fingers crossed. Now the Mercedes GLC is 4-wheel drive, so it does have the hole in the bottom of the sump for that front differential. But the issue is, the GLC has 612 horsepower, whereas the Aston Martin DBX has 697 horsepower.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
AMG gang! Our theory here is the reason it has less horsepower but the same engine code has got to be to do with the externals of the engine, like your turbos and your intercoolers and the tuning of the car, rather than the actual engine. So in theory, all we need to do is transfer all the external stuff off the DBX engine and add it to the GLC engine. And if it doesn't work, at least we can send it back as one whole piece. Whereas if we split apart an engine, a second-hand engine, and put that sump on it, and it doesn't work, then they're going to say, well, you can't send it back because you molested it. But the good news out of all this was £7,300, which if we do fix it for this, it will be good. And it saves us having to build a whole engine. We just got to really hope the engine's good. We'll change the spark plugs, we'll change the oil, change the oil filter. It's so hard to know, and this is one of these things with engines, we ain't going to know until we build it all together and get it in the car. So we started taking off all the ancillaries of the GLC engine, like the turbos and the charge coolers. But as we started taking more off, we started to notice more differences. This has not gone well. Oh no.
Not well at all.
So this is well, as far as we know, just so far, the cylinder head is completely different. The camshafts are completely different.
I think the front pulley's alright.
Our only hope at the minute is that the block's the same. Because if that ain't the same, then we're really in a problem. First thing we noticed was that, look, this hole here. We noticed was like, oh, well, there's a hole there, and it doesn't have a hole there. Next thing, picked up these ones. What are these things? Something to do with the cams. Oh no. So took this off, looked at that one. So look at these two compared like that.
Massively different.
Completely different. Okay, was like, maybe there's a chance it's the same underneath the cover. Camshafts, look at them. These are like little pee-wee boys. See that? Quite small, little thin things. Look at them.
Look how complex that is.
Look at that. They've got like guides in them. They're absolute tanks of camshafts. So the cylinder heads, along with the camshafts, are different on the DBX engine. It looks like to get that extra power, they've increased the size of them and added some kind of variable valve timing. Our only hope now is that the cylinder block with all the pistons and the crank are the same as the DBX. We've got to get this cylinder head off, and then we're hoping to see that on the underneath. And if we don't see that on the underneath, really, well, all we needed was the block. That's all we needed. So if we paid £7.5 for a block, which is cheaper than Aston Martin anyway, but if that block ain't the same, we have well and truly done ourselves. Okay, this is the big moment now, whether we just wasted £7,300 on this engine, because as soon as I take this off, we can't really send it back. He's going to have watched the video as well. So I'm taking the cylinder head off. Once you loosen these bolts out, that's it then, the bolts are finished. You're meant to buy new bolts, you're meant to have a head gasket. And all we're hoping for now is that we paid £7,300 for a good cylinder block with pistons, and it is the same as that cylinder block, minus all the rust in it. We're about to find out. It means we've got to build off the engine. Ugh. First off, loosen the chain. Now if this works, we might have a good DBX at the end. Well, my dad might have a good DBX at the end. Because before I bought it, I did check it out on Car Vertical, and it did say that the mileage was all checked out, all good. It's only done like 2,400 miles. It's got no outstanding finance, which is good. It does show up that it's a Category N, which is quite usual for flood damaged cars. The Rolls-Royce Cullinan is a Category N as well. So that means non-structural damage. So you have Category N and Category S. S is structural, N is non-structural. And when it's flood damage, it just goes in the non-structural category. So that will always show up on the car vertical report. And quite interestingly, it's had 4 owners, but that's including myself. And I can see as well what registration plates they had on. And they had some bougie registration plates. 66 PN was one reg, and then 1AFF, which is now on a Ferrari 296. Sometimes as well, if your car was damaged, it's likely to show you photos of the car when it was auctioned off at the car crash auction site. Now with the camshaft removed, we can see how different they actually are. But once we remove these head bolts to remove the cylinder heads, I'm hoping we see exactly the same as what we've seen on the DBX engine, but without the damage. So these have pins, look, like actual pins, which hold in the chain guides. I don't know why they do it like that.
No, stops people messing about with engines that don't know it's about them.
Now, the moment of truth. Off comes the cylinder head off the GLC engine. Is it the same? It's different.
No.
It's different.
It's different.
It's different.
What do you mean it's different?
Pistons are different.
Oh,
You're joking.
domed in.
The pistons are domed.
Oh my days. Oh,
Well,
no.
you should check your car out on Car Vertical by clicking the link in the description box below and using code MAT for discount, because then something like this is less likely to happen to you. Yeah, it's different. The block might be the same, but the pistons are different.
How far are we going to keep going back until we just have to buy a new engine?
What are we going to do?
We can use the pistons off that engine.
Yeah, but that's what we keep going, and then we'll get a new car, and then we're like, oh, the crank's different. But
Yeah, I know, yeah.
the crank is the same, the block's the same, so we can use the original crank.
Look at that piston, yeah? Just visual. Right, it's flat. 4 indents here for where the valves sit. Okay, let's go on to this one. This is like an indent, and these valve dents are way more prominent in this than they are in that. So it's completely different. So when people say, oh, it's got the same engine as an AMG GT, a DB12, an Aston Martin DBX, a Vantage, whatever, they ain't the same. They may come look the same, but they ain't the same really, are they? What are those head gaskets saying?
They're saying they're the same.
Head gaskets are the same, pistons are different.
That means the block's the same, so we could change the pistons.
What about the crank?
Well, we'll find out.
What do we do at this point here?
We've got to keep going. We didn't spend £7,000 and get this far to stop now. We have to keep going.
I mean, do you think the rings off these pistons? I know it sounds a bit bodgy.
Oh my, no, come on.
The rings on them.
Behave.
This car is beating us. Our only hope now is that the engine block's the same as the DBX, and maybe, just maybe, the conrods are the same. But once we got the sump off, we can see the conrods of the DBX end in 007 and the ones on the GLC 005. So even they're different.
Is it different?
They're all 05s. There's no way we're going to take this piston off and put it on a 005 rod and think, that'll be good. The block might be the same. We've still got the block. Now, our hopes diminished to just the cylinder block. So everything is coming out of this GLC engine. Even Kevin was defeated. Out comes the pistons with the conrods. And I am going to mark these up just in case for whatever reason we need to put it back together. But it was clear to see that the conrods and the pistons were different in the GLC. It's strange a manufacturer would make something which looks so similar, but then the small minute changes makes that increase in power. And now, out comes the crankshaft, which leaves us with one GLC block. Now, good news. We have a cylinder block, which I think, no, we're going to say, I know is the same as that. The piston's out of that, this piston here, these do go and fit into there nicely. The piston, so we can use this block. So we've not completely wasted our time or money. We just spent maybe a little bit over the odds for a new block. People are probably going to ask, yeah, you could probably get this block repaired, but when you get it repaired, you'd have to have it bored out, and it just becomes an ever-going nightmare of chain reaction of things that once you get that repaired, everything else has to be to spec of the new block that you have repaired. So at least we've got an OEM block here, but all of this mess over here was not planned, and I thought we was going to be able to repair this DBX within a week and get it from a dad, but it just doesn't always go to plan. So it looks like we're building a complete Mercedes DBX engine with no experience in doing so. We're not going to manage to do it in this video, but thanks so much for watching this one. Before you go, the new merch is now out, and you can grab it with the link in the description box below. But thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you in the next video where we've got to build this engine up. Peace out.
My mum said that I can come and do some outdoor play for a bit, but I've got to wear my gloves, she said.
You're like a drug that I just can't deny.